Hi, hey there. Welcome, welcome. So, the other live, we worked on this, which I can't do. We worked on this one. And hi, guys, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Bree. I'm a digital artist. I typically make tutorials. Hi, hey, Alicia. Thanks for joining. So I typically make tutorials. This is my most recent one that I put out. Hello, hello. I am planning on uploading this tutorial hopefully this week. I really wanted to get it out earlier. The week just got away from me. We finished this during a live the other day, and I have not turned it into a tutorial, but this is also another project that I've worked on with the community. And I want to make something that utilizes the feature today with the drawing guides. So I did a brief tutorial at the end of one of my more recent videos on how to utilize that so you can create stuff like this. So if I, for example, clear, and I'll just use like that color. One, you can definitely, there you go, make a design, and if you want it to be perfect, you just have to hold down like so. But I want to try and do a little bit more complex of design, but I just wanted to real quick re-show this. You can also go like that. You can do this. There's all kinds of different ways that you can utilize this feature. Another way too is using in between the spaces, and you can still definitely use this space as well. So if you wanted to do something that was more like leaves, you could do this. And you could add, maybe not like that. You can add berries like so. Although I don't like the ones closer to the centers. I definitely like the ones that are further out. And then another option too. I'm just doing a live. I'm showing how to use the drawing guide, specifically symmetry, and then the radial with these features on. A second ago, I was showing how to do a snowflake. This is sort of like a snowflake made of greenery. You can certainly get more into details on these. You can draw. I'm really not liking the way that I'm doing this right now. It's been a couple days since I've been live. I'm gonna chalk it up to just being a little rusty. You could certainly do something like that if you wanted to add details. You could also add in different color leaves if you feel like that would help with the design a little bit more. I like that personally. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Another thing too, so like let's say we have down our basic shape, but at this point, like right, if I want to change stuff up here, this is where it's going to start looking a little awkward. It could look good, right? Like some people definitely can pull off certain designs, but I don't like my current design. Let's just say that. Let's pretend I really, really don't like it and I can't stand it. So this would be a good time to go in and turn off the drawing assist, and then I could go in, not with the eraser. I'm also going to go back to the monoline brush, the regular one. And this is where I could draw individual leaves so that I could make it just a little bit different on each one so that it doesn't feel like purely copy and paste. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, that's the whole point, right, is for the symmetry brush or symmetry option to work that way. to create symmetry. But for the center here, I'd go like that. Maybe create another, create another berry there. What's the snowman's name? Okay, so this the snowman we named Rufus. And Rufus has a friend in said cabin who we can't see, and that person is Wilfred. So Rufus and Wilfred. The app that I'm using is called PROCREATE. You can find it for Apple products. Unfortunately, oh, I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb. Give me 5 seconds. So unfortunately, it is only for Apple products, at least to my knowledge. I don't think that's changed. However, the good news is there are a lot of other programs out there that you can use on your tablets, on your phones, that are comparable. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. One of the reasons, if you do have an iPad, I very much enjoy Procreate because it was a one-time payment. At the time, I believe it was $9.99. That was like 4 years ago. Now it's $12.99, but the one-time purchase has been totally worth it. You continue to get updates. They're constantly improving the interface and the things that it just enhanced the overall experience. So they definitely have added features since I first got it back in 2020. So yeah, I really can't say enough good things about it. Yes. Okay, so this is where we were at. I, however, would like to do something different. I also showed how to make a brush. Let me take off these guides real quick, and I can show you guys what the brush looked like. If anybody wants me to go back over that, let me know. But I showed how to make, if I can do it right. There we go. Just how to make brushes with snowflakes for the background. That's what I used on this one. It's this brush in particular. So this is the brush that I made. I wonder if they have Procreate. Like I'm so naive. I apologize. I'm like, do they offer? I assume they offer this app over there. I just don't know how much it would cost. Sure, yeah, no problem. So what I did was I chose a darker gray. The brush that I started with is under calligraphy monoline. I'll press reset, but basically I'm just using the basic brush. And then I drew a line, held it down, and then duplicated it. And I made sure that I have both snapping and magnets on, so when I rotate it, it mathematically clicks into place like that, okay? That's like what we're looking for. But just make sure you're not grabbing both layers in just the one. So now when I move it, it's going to tick into place, right? So I'm going to go here first. And then I'm going to continue to do the same there. And then there again. I'm going to combine. Now you could totally use that radial feature that I was just showing you guys, but I think the reason why my brush, the two brushes that I made, one, I think personally I like this one better. because I hand drew. You can see it's not perfect. There's a little bit slight variation between each one. I think that brush personally for my style works best. This is one done with like precise measurements on the, or less details on this one. Let's see, was it this one that I'm thinking of? This one has more precise. I'm just not a fan. Play around with it, do whatever you want, but this is what I like drawing it by hand, so I'm gonna stick with this. And then from here, no, don't do that. Let me go back to airbrush, no, calligraphy, monoline. So now that I have those all on one layer, now I can just draw directly on it and make my own design. I'm just gonna do what design I know worked well for my previous ones. I'm not really worrying about it too much being, you know, like I said, perfect. I just find it looks more organic this way. And then I'll show you the next steps. Thanks, Smith, for putting in that suggestion. Okay, let me zoom out. All right, and then you could do something like this. Totally up to you. This is just me creating a quick design. You could also choose to erase on the inside. It's really up to you. I'm just going to keep it because I'm going to be honest and say I'm a little lazy right now. And then I also added in another one. I'm just going to hand draw it in, even though it's very clearly off. I'm going to try one more time, see if I can do a little bit more steady. There we go. Change up the design a little bit here. I mean, there's no wrong way. Just however you want to create your design. You could do almost like star shapes. You could do a bunch of like snow coming down like this. You could do a bunch of these. It's really your call. But like, let's say this is our design for like, we're like, okay, I want this randomized across my screen so that it looks something like this, right? One thing that I did add, just to show you guys, is I have, there's also a snowflake, or not snowflake, it's a snow brush that does come with Procreate on here. So on this layer I used, under elements, it's the snow driven. So that's what adds to the additional snow that you're seeing. All right, so now that we are here, I have to say also, make sure you're in a square canvas. If you have it in a vertical or horizontal canvas, what ends up happening is when you copy this to make it into a brush, it will actually squish or stretch the image. So right here, make sure everything is on one, just one layer. Going to select that layer and then press copy. Going into brush. I have my own brush folder down here, so I have brushes that I make for myself to use for, you know, different projects. If you need to add a new folder, you just go up to the top and there's a plus sign there, and you can create a new folder. Then once you're in the correct folder, which mine is my brushes, I'm going to select the plus sign. I'm going to go down to shape and then import and paste. And now you can see the design that we made. Select done. So obviously our brush isn't looking very cute right now. So let's start by first separating them enough so that we can see them. Let's also go into properties and make the minimum size much larger so you can actually see it better. We can adjust the minimum size, or we can just leave it as is. I'm going to leave it as is. I have this up to around 800. It might vary based on your own, but it's a, you know, play with the brush behavior to see what size works best. If you are using an Apple Pencil stylus, if you want your brush to not be too opaque and then end up with some inconsistencies based on pressure, just take that out so that way you're not worrying about pressure. If you're not using a stylus that's Apple, you're most likely not, pressure sensitivity. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what I did that was so professional and ethical, but I'll take it. I'd love to know what you thought was so professional and ethical. So I'm going to take out the opacity. If you want color, not color, sorry, for dynamics, if you want size jitter, so basically when we go to paint, there will be a jitter variation, meaning that there will be size variation essentially of the brush as you're painting it. So let's see. Let me clear. It's sort of showing up, but not great yet because we have more settings to do. But this is larger, these are incredibly small, and then we have like medium sized. So there is variation, but it's just not showing up the way that we all need it yet. So now I can tell that I actually want my size closer, right? I also would like my jitter. So I don't mind if they overlap, but I also want to make sure there is enough space. So I'm going to clear the drawing pad and try it out again just to kind of see where it's at. So now that we have this, the last part that we can go, or the last two parts I guess we can go to, is shape. For shape properties, you can do scatter, which means that some of these will be rotated. You can also increase count. I'm going to keep mine down. You can also do count jitter. So if I did count jitter, you can adjust. There's also rotation. You can turn that on up or down. If you do it all the way here, it means that it's following the stroke of your brush. So this feature in itself, it's more noticeable if you're using just different types of brushes where I'm trying to think. I just literally had a brush recently. Oh, when I was making a wreath, and I needed the wreath shape. When I went to make a circle, I needed it to follow that path, right? But with this, I really don't need it, so I'm just gonna put this back here. I also have a tutorial if you are looking to sort of get more comfortable with brushes. The wreath one that I just mentioned, I teach you how to make the wreath brush and then also how to create the piece after. You could also turn on randomized and see how these all look. These are options. You don't have to. Your brush will look different, a little bit different than mine, because none of us make it exactly the same. My last thing, this is a personal preference. You can keep it like this, and let me clear it one more time, and I'll even put it in color so it makes more sense. So you can totally have it be jitter, like not jitter, like have the opacity the way that it is. Right now it's on multiply. I personally, when I want something to show up, be vibrant, bright, I like to put it on height, and you can tell what a big difference height to the multiply. So I like this for things that I want to stand out. There's definitely a time and a place to use all of these other blending modes, but for this one I want height. Yes, there are. Thank you, Elizabeth. Even I forget that. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so now that we basically have a brush, we can always make adjustments later. And if you're afraid, just duplicate the brush, right? If you're like, oh my God, I don't want to ruin it, just duplicate it. So that way you can go in and be like, oh, I don't really like this. Or maybe you just want to play around, just have fun, maybe create another variation of the same brush. So let's test out the two brushes that I just did. So here's this. Let's maybe make it a bit smaller though, so we can, nope, even smaller. Okay, so this would be cool. This would actually be really, stop doing eraser. This would be really cool for like if I had like a dark background. And I wanted, if I made these like, let's do invert. And I wanted like a magical scene with snow, that'd be fun. If I did the add blending mode and then I did white, same brush, I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit, like, yeah, this would be really good for, it's almost like it's got a little bit of the sparkle to it, and then you could also make it larger if you wanted to, you know, just get a couple of larger ones in there. So this is one of the brushes. Look, this was the first one, this was the second one. So this is the first one we made. So, you know, if you tap, you'll get some randomized appearances. If you brush, depending, it could, you know, fill up really quick. So, and if that's happening and you don't like it, all you have to do is just go in and you can always go back to stroke path. You can have more of a space. You can do less of a jitter, more of a jitter. It's your creation now, right? So hopefully that, I mean, I know that was quick, especially if you're not familiar or comfortable with making brushes. I do have, I have a couple more. Oh, the cat wants in. I'll let her in a second. Other tutorials that I have on brushes, if you guys are looking. So one, I have a tutorial on how to make that type of brush. I have a tutorial on how to make a brush for knit sweaters and cardigans and like knit scarves. So here's what you would be able to design by the end. I actually teach you how to paint these as well as make the brush. Here's another one that I made. Let me let my my cat in. She's at the door. Give me one sec. Hey, yeah. You get all frazzled, baby. And what you'll notice when you do if you do end up doing the tutorials for these brushes, what you'll notice is there is a pattern in a lot of the like, I'm trying to think what, I'm failing for words today, but you'll notice I use a lot of the same features because a lot of brushes I need to operate very similarly. Yes, there will be minor changes, but the ones that matter the most are a lot of the options that I already showed you. I also have a tutorial on how to create something similar to this, but how to make these trees. So I have a tutorial on how to make these trees so you can make forests. Also how to make bookshelves quickly and efficiently. Oh, here we go. This was the tutorial. So I teach you how to make not only this scene with the fog and all that, but then also the trees that you see in the background. I love books. I love reading. I'm a writer, so books show up in a lot of my stuff. I love books and books and books. So I also have a tutorial on how to create books really quickly. Here's like an example. I made a brush so that I could make this these books in the background really, really quick and efficient because I really didn't have time to sit there and painstakingly, you know, paint out each one. So all right, now that we have all of these, I'm going to clear and let me I'm going to fill this with this color, and I'm already working, I'm already in a square, so I'm just gonna stay here. So for my guide then, I will do, let's do a quadrant instead. And I'll try this color and see how it shows up. My brush of choice that I typically lean towards for illustrations is my Inca. It's not mine, it's Procreate, but that's my preferred brush. So I'm gonna hang out here. It's been a while since I've used this feature, so if you want to hang out and watch me figure it all out. Let's see what happens when I turn off this. What does that do? Let's find out. Okay. Oh. So I do think this is probably the way that I actually want the canvas feature, like the drawing guide and the symmetry, to interact. Because when I have on rotational symmetry, it's going, right, it's rotational, which is fine, but also that's not exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back and turn off that. There we go. So from here, I hopefully will be able to do just some different designs. Yeah. Now, I did not plan this, so I have no clue what I'm making, but I'm excited to be making it. Let's see what my brain comes up with. Come back. No, come back. There we go. Okay, I hate that. It's fine. It's cool. We're good. I'm going to do a darker green. Let's see. I like this. I'm going to do maybe something like that. Let's see. I think this green, yeah. I can also, another way to, so this was a green I already had on the canvas. I'm going to go like this real quick, and then I can smudge it. I'm going to draw it one more time, smudge it again. And I can choose sort of a color like that, but I'm not sure if it's, oh, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. Now, I should have done that on a separate layer, but I didn't, so here we are. Oh, thank you. I really should have put on my glasses, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Do you have a tutorial for artwork of the red door with the wreath that I saw in your gallery? Oh, no, bro, I'll still respond to bro. That's like the terminology of the times. You know, when I was growing up, it was like dude, man, right? But my kids literally call me bro sometimes. They'll say, bruh. It's so funny. I don't. but I absolutely can. I loved making this. I will make it a priority when I'll do some batch creation tomorrow. So I'll film both this one and this one for tutorials so I can get them out this week. Because I loved this one. I honestly, I'd love to remake it. So no problems with that. You got it. I'm going to put it on my list because when I write things down, things happen. You're very welcome. I love that your nephew does the same. I just think of it as like a rite of passage. I know my kids don't mean it disrespectfully. It's just hilarious though. It's so funny. All right. Tomorrow's do list. Door and snowman. There we go. Oh, thank you. So fun little story. I normally don't use the brushes that I use to make this one, this one, or this one. It's something I picked up at the beginning, no, not the beginning of this month, but like end of last month. And I just really enjoyed it. The brushes that I've been using to make these pieces are oil paint and turpentine. Been just loving it, and I've explored enough that I understand how it all is starting to work. Like, I'm sure obviously I've not mastered it, but I understand enough to be dangerous. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's different than my typical style, and it's a little bit looser. Doesn't mean it's not still like, it still takes work, but it sort of allows me to let go of like the perfectionism and like the getting, zooming in and trying to get every detail just right. Like, it's really nice that it's a very relaxing experience. Let's see here. Maybe, nope, I'm on the wrong brush. I'm not doing that one right now. There we go. Right, and I'm very much, I love fantasy. I usually have some sort of whimsical fantasy elements in my art where I can fit them in. So I definitely love that brush definitely gives like whimsical. It's been really fun just giving myself permission to explore. I know it's like, yeah, I'm making tutorials to teach people how to like make certain things, but like I also am like, I still want to explore and have fun, and I don't want to pretend like, oh yeah, I know exactly how to do everything. There's so much to still learn and develop, and I'm really enjoying the process. Like brushes are newer for me. I literally stayed away from brushes. I was terrified of them, but there were a couple projects that I did where I had accidentally lucked in to the way that my brushes turned out. And some people were like, oh, how'd you do that? I'm like, oh no, I'm actually gonna have to sit here and figure this out. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to have that happen. So I started actually doing like a deep dive into how to make brushes. Thank goodness there are tutorials for those of us who have no idea. And now I understand it, so now I can also teach it to others. Let's see. Okay. I'm not yet sure what I want to put in the center, but we'll get there. Slowly but surely. I'm thinking use this pink and maybe do some, like, no, don't do the eraser. Like a snowflake. Probably more than a snowflake, but you know. How long have you been digitally painting for? Yes, it really can be. It can be so much fun. Like, especially once you get past the hurdle and the intimidation of it, like it starts to be really, really fun. I'm sorry if I've asked that question before, by the way. I try really hard to like connect with the people that show up here consistently, but I'm human. 4 years, that's awesome. And did you do art before that? Were you always a like, did you do traditional art? Were you working in a different program? Never painted non-digitally. Love it. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's like a pretty good brag in and of itself. Like the way of the world, right? Like when I was growing up, we didn't have this kind of technology, and now we do. It's just insane. It's crazy the way the world has changed. Okay, so okay, so have you like been interested in art your whole life? Is this a recent thing you've picked up? Obviously recent being like the last 4 years. Like what made you get involved? Like, when I went to school, I had never, like I went to college for art. I didn't complete my college experience. I did 3 of 4 years. Um, I couldn't afford to keep going and the cost of living at the time, which is insane given the cost of living now. But I went to school for media arts and animation, and I had never used a computer for anything at that point that was art related. So having to learn it was so brutal. So brutal. Also, sorry if you can hear my munchkin downstairs being crazy. He's happy. He's just having a wild time tonight. Watching these streams while laying in bed is actually so relaxing. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yes, in a lot of ways, digital is, especially like, right, it's a lot of money to collect all of the items that you need to be able to make, like, you know, if I want to paint acrylic, I have to get canvas, I have to get brushes, I have to get paint, I have to get, if I want to be able to thin it, I have to get thinner. Like, there's all these additional things, right? And gesso, if I want to prep the canvas and all that, there's so many things you could add. Hi there. Welcome. You know, and it can certainly add up. Whereas with this, like, yes, it's an initial investment up front, but then like you get to just use it. And a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people do have additional like tablets or laptops. Maybe not additional, but they have them around because our lives demand that we use these types of technology. And so, you know, you get multiple uses out of it. Exactly. That was actually one of the reasons why I so I used to have my setup on an actual desktop computer back in 2020, and I had my office space set up in our bonus room. But I couldn't move out of there, right? So I and it was during pandemic time. So, my kids were home, and they're always moving and on to the next thing. So, I was telling my husband, I was like, there's this program that, like, we have an iPad, and it'd be really cool to give it a try. And then I'd be able to, sit downstairs and work. I'd be able to like take it with me from room to room. And we were able to figure out a way to get it. My husband surprised me. That was very nice of him. And it's been really awesome, because definitely there's been times where I've sat outside while the kids are playing in the backyard, and I'm able to sit on my iPad. I'm going to take off snapping for a sec here. Hey, if the sketchbook is calling to you, by all means. In this space, we celebrate all kinds of art. Whatever format feels good to you. While I do primarily work digitally, I have a deep love, passion, and interest in traditional art. Some of my favorite mediums to use. My son got a balloon, and he's just beating the crap out of it downstairs. It's like treating it like a drum. I had a point that I was going to make, but then life happened. I'll find it. If I may, I respect whatever decision is that you need to make that's best for you. But I find that it's the times that we don't participate or we don't try that we actually regret more than trying and failing, or trying and not being the first one, chosen. I did an art contest back in 2000 and... what year was it? It's been a while, guys. Probably like 2013 or 2014. And the author, Neil Gaiman, was like the judge of it. I can't remember why, but he was. And I was chosen as one of the like finalists, but I ended up not being like the chosen artwork. And even all these years, just making it to the fact that I participated, and the fact that I just made it into the finalists, nobody knows but me. I mean, now you guys do, but you guys don't know me enough to like, you didn't see the work, you weren't there with me in the moment. That's fine. But all this, all these years later, it's stuck with me. And even if I had never been chosen, the fact that I participated, I was so proud of the piece that I entered. So I encourage you to consider trying, but also if you say, I'm just not ready, I respect the heck out of that too. It's also okay to know our limitations, know we're not in the headspace or the place to do something. But I believe in you, and if you decide to give it a shot, I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to color this in. I don't like that it was open. I actually just had a somewhat similar experience, though not at all related to the theme necessarily of art, but I have been trying to write a book for over 10 years. Honestly, I think I'm closer to, let's see. Oh, it's much closer. unfortunately, much closer to 20 than I thought. And every time I've tried writing, I'll get a certain amount done and then I give up, or, I get sidetracked, whatever it might be. And this last year, I finally said, enough's enough. I have to write it. Even if it never goes anywhere, even if I never publish it, even if no one ever reads it, I just need to write it. I'm tired of wishing I wrote it and didn't do it. And I don't want to find myself one day on my deathbed, whenever, hopefully that is in the very far future, but life's short. You never know when it's coming to an end. So I was like, I have to do this. I don't want to have this as a regret. And so I spent the last year writing a book. And so I completed it. I gave it out to a couple of people to give me feedback. I've gotten enough back now that I can start making, I'm on like my third round, I believe, of edits. And, my goal in 2025 would be to self-publish it. And I'm already in the process. I'm over halfway done writing my second book, and I have a couple scenes for the third book written. Now, again, if it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine. I know, though, if I don't follow through, if I don't, go through the steps of doing it, I will always wonder. I will always have regrets. And I would much rather be like, yeah, I wrote a book. 3 people liked it, but it's better than no people ever, seeing it, reading it, enjoying it. Yeah, I think sometimes, situations like this can really push us to try things outside of our comfort zone. Sometimes we find things we weren't expecting when we go beyond those types of limits, But again, I also know there's gray in the world, and it's not so black and white, and sometimes we're not ready to take certain challenges on, and that also is okay. Okay, let's not do that. Maybe we do this. Why are you being such a poop? What am I not seeing here? Okay, I'm just gonna hand paint it in. I don't have the patience to figure it out. I'm just being honest. It was 2024, the end of 2023, when I made I didn't make a New Year's resolution, but I chose 2 words that I wanted to honor in the year, and those words were, where did you come from? That's not what the words were. The words were creativity and authenticity, and those were things that I wanted to bring more into my life. And by having those 2 words, it really helped sort of lead me on this journey. And I just, I think sometimes we just gotta take a leap of faith, find the thing that we really want, and then try and accept that sometimes you're gonna fail. Sometimes you're gonna fail a lot before you succeed. I don't know if the bucket's not working correctly because I'm on the what is it? Like the quadrant thing right now. I'm gonna actually test this out because I'm curious. Is it this? It must have just been something about that drawing. I'm not sure what it was, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going into, actually I'm not, well, okay. I'm going to put on Drawing Assist on a different layer so that I'm still interacting, having the this happen just on the mirroring, if you will, happen, just not on that layer. Okay. No, there. I keep accidentally. Okay. I like the idea, but I need to fix the execution. That's not it. I almost like it. Almost. Okay. Okay, not too bad. I like it. Now I gotta figure out what design I want here. And I have really wanted to do a gingerbread. So I might do a gingerbread cat in the middle. The good news is I can do a lot of different centerpieces. I don't have to settle on one. Oh, thank you. Oh, it does look like an owl. Totally. I see it. No, I won't do that. Let's see. I'm not sure if I can make this work. Can I do that? What I could try. Okay. Getting a little too zealous with some shapes here. It's fine. think I need these lines to stand out more like the other lines. Okay. And this is too curved. This needs to be more like that. And maybe I can do something like this. Maybe. I feel like that's still a maybe. An undecided maybe. Okay, let's take off this. Oh, nice. That's funny. Apparently, subconsciously, I have birds on the mind. I'm going to use this color real quick on here and just add a little bit of detail. These are just feeling a little too flat, I think. And the good news is I can always undo it. Okay. So now, how does this color look? Let's do just a little more yellow. No, you don't want to work with me on this. There we go. I am going to get rid of this color. Nope, there isn't one there. I'll take it. Yeah, that looks, I think that's a good gingerbread color. Okay, I can do this. Let me pull up a reference for a cat silhouette real quick so I can get that drawn more easily. Hi everybody, welcome. Let's see. All right. Someone had requested the other day that I do a gingerbread cat, and it's literally been on my mind ever since. I can't let it go, and thus we will do it now. Okay, so question, guys. These are going to be really ugly for a sec. Do I do a cat that's like sitting up with a tail? Do I do a cat instead that's like, well, not like that. That's like walking-ish? Wow, that is the worst cat I've ever drawn in my entire life. Or, let's see, what other options? The other option is a better cat. The other option would be a cat like stretching with the tail up like this. I could also have like an ornament maybe hanging from the tail, butt up in the air, stretching. I feel like that's like a cute idea, but it's gonna be hard to turn it into a gingerbread, but that's fine. Sometimes concepts change. I kind of like, let's see, right, cat body here. I'm gonna start with a couple different variations, I think. This is not a good brush for sketching. I would not recommend, by the way. Definitely use the sketching brushes provided in the app. Maybe I could even create some sort of that was the wrong move. Okay. No, don't smudge. Okay, I'm not in love, but it's fine. Let me also fill in this one, see how it looks. And I try a tiny bit harder, just a tiny bit harder. Don't get your hopes up. This also might be a good time for me to take a break because I'm just getting worse as the moments go by. Okay, like another somewhat cat silhouette. This one kills me. Let me do this one better. Funny. Okay. Where to even begin on fixing this? The stretching pose, I think so too. I really like that one, especially because I feel like if I make it just a teeny tiny bit smaller, I might be able to add like yarn or something and like have it be more like maybe have yarn here and then have it kind of weave down here or something. Or I could still have it in the center and I can just, we'll figure it out. But I think that one's my favorite. Let me finish filling in this and then we'll make the deciding I can't think choice. Deciding cat. I don't know. Okay, and then this leg's gonna go a little further up here. Now it has 3 front legs, just in case you were wondering how it walks. That's how. It is cute. Our new cat, she has the cutest stretches. She stretches so much. Okay, I'll be fixing that. And then this, like this, and then this. Ignore this odd shape between its legs. Okay, this. I definitely have to like step away from the cat and like see what's wrong with its shape after a while. You know, when you stare at something too long, I'm like, I know it's wrong. I can still tell it's wrong. But I couldn't precisely tell you at what parts of this it's so wrong. I do know this line needs to come up because we need to be able to see some of this movement. Oh my god, it just gets worse. Every second it gets worse. Struggle is real. Extra mobility. Love it. Okay, it's at least tolerable at this point. It's tolerable. Is it good? No, but it's tolerable. And I'm not even gonna. So we have the side sitting cat, the stretching cat, or the standing cat. I know they all look terrible. Which one do you guys prefer? So sitting, stretching, standing. I personally prefer the stretching. I'll make sure though that we're all on the same page with that. Yes, definitely. One of the, I have to show you guys because it killed me doing this project. This one, humans are, they're so hard for me. That's one of my focuses on for my 2025 goals, but also hands. The amount of times that I had to flip this back and forth before I felt like it doesn't look like an entire alien. Yeah, that's what this layer, the before and after for starters. That's how, so how it looked before I made fixes and then after. If you look at the face, you can see before and after. So yeah, I definitely did lots of canvas flipping. It's absolutely necessary. The hands on the little witch one was fun to watch the struggle. It was so painful. And then on top of it, right, I'm live and you guys are seeing me in real time be flustered like tonight, except it was worse because it was hands. The amount of the amount of silent tears that I went through that night. Oh goodness. I think are we all in agreement on this one? And then obviously we'll get it looking better than this. If you are curious what hand struggle we're talking about on the on this one, the hands killed me. They are not good hands. And then this one also not good hand. Nope. But thankfully from afar it's tolerable. Yes, I was thinking an ornament, but I could try a lantern, but I also am a little fearful that I won't be able to pull it off, if I'm just being honest. Let's see, I'm gonna attempt to get this looking better. And then after that, I might take a break, but we'll see. Let me see. Where's my stretching cat? Oh gosh. Cats and books, that's life, you know? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to real quick download an image reference, and I will bring it into Procreate in just a second. I'm just gonna... Where, oh, where are you? No, not that. Like that. This one. Okay, yeah. Download. So I went to Pixabay. I found an image. I just downloaded it. I'm going to import it into my canvas. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, thank you. All right, so here was my reference, but I'm feeling a little bit on the lazy side, so I'm literally going to just put this here and try and figure out how to see. Okay, let's put cat there. Oh gosh. I might have to go soon, guys. I can't stop yawning. Okay. I don't need it to be exact, I just need it to be readable. I'm also going to be turning this into a gingerbread, so I also don't need it to be anatomically perfectly correct. Just readability. Okay, so we've got the butt in the air. And I don't mind having some variation in how it looks. So I think, for the most part, I'm just going to keep it as this. I have a cat with a very floofy tail, so the floofy tail is needed. Okay, so for starters, I'm going to go on a new layer, and I definitely think the cat needs a scarf. Just right out the gate. I'm going to start with that. And if I were to do, I'll start with, maybe I could do like a cream color. Let's see, so cat would have whiskers. And nose, not like that. Not like that, it wouldn't. A nose. Let's see, so it was like a tabby, it might have some stripes on it. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's singing Jingle All the Way and drumming on something. I think it's the lunchbox that we got his brother. I'm wondering if I can, without making it look too possessed. But now he just looks angry. Angry. Happier? Question? I don't know why I did that. I could just erase. Without erasing everything else. Thank you so much, Myth. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I think I like that. So I'm going to maybe move this over, question mark? Maybe, I don't know. I think it's time I step away myself. So I'm gonna keep it like this. I kind of want to put yarn. Maybe I'll do a little yarn real quick, just a little one, and then I'll come back tomorrow with a fresh pair of eyes. Nope. do this one. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will start though by doing it on a clipping mask, so if I want to get rid of it or change the color, I can. So first, let's go like this. And then we'll go like this. Okay. So I'm gonna try doing just a slight, maybe I'll try this one. I'm going to put on Alpha Lock, and then I'm gonna select fill, and now we can see what it looks like with the darker color on it. I like that better. Okay, so I'm going to pause here for the evening. Just a reminder, guys, if you're looking for tutorials, I am going to be making these two over the next couple days. So I'll be making, hopefully I'll have these out early in the week. So this one as well as this one. I already have this available as a tutorial right now. It's my most recent one. If you're looking to make a seamless pattern, I have a tutorial on how to make a seamless pattern with that design, and also how to make the design initially. Yeah, and yeah. And then you can see through my other videos, like my other live streams, me like making this and how I do it. So if you're looking for any more information, you can find it there. The last couple things I could think of is I also have a tutorial on how I make this brush so that you can make wreaths easily. I was gonna say wreaths with ease, and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna sound right, but and then I also have a tutorial on how to make knitted designs as well, like different knit patterns, so you can make different types of scarves, cardigans, blankets. Really up to you what you use them for. After I made this tutorial, I ended up using it on her sweater here, so yeah. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please do, or at least consider, but also totally get it if it's not your thing. And if you feel so inclined to go find a tutorial and watch, that'd be awesome. You would help me meet my goals for my watch hours so that I can continue to help support my family. And I appreciate you guys all being here this evening, or morning, depending on where you are. So with that being said, please make sure that you take care of yourselves. Make sure that you are hydrating, get rest, eat your food, take meds if you got them. And if you haven't done one kind thing for yourself today, please be sure that you do. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow.